the Vrindavan Dam on this planet. So this is a replica of the original Vrindavan. And there are some differences. One main difference is that it's much smaller than the original Vrindavan. And when Krishna personally comes to this Vrindavan, then the original Golokadam Vrindavan manifests on this land, and then it's called Prakata Dam when it's visible to the eyes even here on Earth. And during this time, the different aspects of the Aprakata Dam manifest here in the Prakat Dam. And yeah, so then it's different when Krishna is not here. So when Krishna is not here, then this dam, this Bauma Vrindavan Dam, is called Drishyamana Dam. It means that when Krishna leaves this world, then this Aprakata Dam stays here, but it becomes not visible for everyone's eyes. And there will be like a veil covering the original thing. And it's very different how different persons can experience and see. So there are these purified souls who completely can see the Aprakata Dam even in the well, not Prakata Dam, but in this on planet Earth. So in this Vrindavan, and so they can experience whatever is happening there. We can hear about our acharyas, how they could see certain pastimes going on, being a part of these pastimes, while others surrounding them couldn't experience all these things. So these are the perfect purified souls. The practicing devotees can also experience something of this dam, but it depends on the how much what is the quality, how much is his devotion. And for a materialist, it's just totally covered. He cannot really experience, although Srila Prabhupada wrote in one of his purports that actually you can see that Vrindavan Dam, that place is a small spot of land, say about 84 miles area, but any person, and however atheistic he may be, and however nonsense he may be, if he goes to that place, he will feel Krishna's presence. Still, simply by going there, he will at once change his mind that here is God, he will accept it. So even this land can have some effect on materialist people, but they cannot really experience like devotees. And the way how we can experience this dam, the effect of this dam, depends on how much faith we have in Krishna and in his abode, and how much we know them. So this is some inspiration for all of us to try to grow our faith and our knowledge about Krishna and in his abode. So these were 3 types of holy dams. There is 2 more. One is that there is a dam present in the great devotees' hearts. And so those devotees who are empowered by Krishna, they become a holy dam. And in Canto 10, when it's Krishna's conception is described. So it's said that first Krishna appeared in the heart of Vasudeva, and then he moved into the womb of Devaki. And very interesting that the verse which describes that he appeared in the heart of Vasudeva, the dam, dam word is used. So Vasudeva's heart became a holy dam, and that very nicely shows that great personalities become a holy dam. And even in the purport, Srila Prabhupada wrote that any place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present by his name, form, qualities, or paraphernalia, immediately becomes a dam. So this nicely summarizes how it works. And the last category of holy dams is also connected to great souls, but this is not them themselves, but wherever they go, those places become a holy dam. This one I've put here. So in Canto 1, when Maharaj Yudhishthir welcomes Vidura, he says to him that, "My lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified." This is the previous category, but he continues here that because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart, you turn all places into places of pilgrimage. And this is really amazing that wherever you go, so he doesn't even have to put any conscious effort. Wherever he goes, that immediately becomes a holy place. And this is the last category. So great souls are like Chintamanis. and Srila Prabhupada also did the same, that, one thing is that he traveled throughout the world, and wherever he went, I mean, not all the places, but one thing is that he created temples, and the other thing is that wherever he went, became holy places. But obviously there is some kind of hierarchy that if he traveled by plane, so the airport was sanctified for a short period of time while he was there, but it's not like it became a holy place for eternity. But still, devotees go to those temples where he had his bhajana for a longer period of time, and etc. So thinking about all these things, we can see that these holy dams and these great souls are very much connected, because when we go to a holy dam and without any great personality, what can we experience of the holy dam? So we can offer service, and that's nice, but these great personalities are those who can reveal something from the dam, because they experience what the dam means, what the holy place means. So whenever we go to a holy place, we have to look for the association of these great souls who can reveal the place itself as it is to us. And by hearing from them and serving them also, of course, but by hearing from them through our ears, we can experience something from the holy dam. And so this is very important, not going to holy places like I'm a tourist. Oh, it was so nice, the prasadam here, or where is Loy Bazaar? It's cheaper to buy things there, and whatever. But we have to make endeavor to look for the association of saints and trying to serve the dam in different ways, give donations and whatever, not going there to have our more subtle way of sense gratification. This is very important. And I found something one really, really nice narration from Bhakti, His Holiness Bhakti Bringa Govinda Swami. And it's about when he wandered into Loy Bazaar. But because he's a great personality, obviously the result was different than when we are going there. I would like to read this because it's really, really inspiring. So the previous part, I would like to start from here because the narration of this part starts here. So perhaps it was in the winter of 1988 or 1989. I had been, sorry, I had been doing kitchen service all day and needed to chant my japa. So in the evening, I walked into Vrindavan and wandered along the little lanes near Sevakunja. As I wandered and chanted, I had go into the little temples, offer obeisances, and keep wandering. The night had come. It was dark, cold, a bit foggy, silent, and I had this wonderful feeling of loneliness in Vraja. I walked into Loy Bazaar around 9 p.m., and the bazaar was shutting down for the night. Walking by the shop of my friend Rajendra Tulasiwala, Rajendra looked up and said, "Oh, you look lonely tonight, like a sadhu. What are you looking for on this cold evening?" I replied, "I'm looking for the association of a Siddha Paramahamsa Vaishnava, a pure chanter of the holy names." Oh, do we look for the same thing in Loy Bazaar? Rajendra said, "I know one, let's go." Well, I must admit that I was astonished. Rajendra went to the shop next to his, Raju Fruit Walla, purchased a green papaya, and then told me to climb on his scooter. Then we drove into the Vrindavan night, somewhere on the back side of the parikrama. We came to a really old building with a broken wooden door, and Rajendra began to knock. After some minutes, the door opened and an elderly small sadhu appeared. He had a scruffy beard, was wearing only a white gamsha, and it appeared that our unannounced arrival was a distraction from something he was engaged in. Rajendra said that he had brought a green papaya and asked if we could come in for a minute. As we entered, I bowed to touch his feet, and he said, "Please don't touch. I'm just in the middle of offering obeisances." Rajendra told me, "Do you have any question to ask him?" So I asked, "Maharaj, what is your sadhana?" Then he replied, "I rise every day at 4 a.m. I wash my face, hands, and mouth, and then I sit down to chant japa." I asked him, "Till what time do you chant?" He replied, "Until 5 p.m. Just notice here, first was 4 a.m. and the second is 5 p.m. So a.m. and p.m., it's more than 12 hours. Then I just about fell over in astonishment. Over 12 hours of non-stop japa. Amazed, I asked, "What do you do then?" He replied, "I bathe. Every day someone brings me a green papaya, so then I put the papaya in boiling water and I let it cook." I asked, "Then what do you do?" He replied, "I offer 1008 dandavats to all of Krishna's associates and holy places of Raja, and I beg them all for mercy." I almost fell over again. So I asked him, "After the obeisances, what do you do?" He replied, "I give the boiled papaya to my picture of Krishna, honor the prasadam, and then it's 9 p.m. Then I chant some more japa." I asked, "When do you finish your japa?" He said, "At 1 a.m. Then I take rest." I was so astonished. I did not really know what to say, but I did ask, "Maharaj, do you cry for Krishna?" He looked at me sadly and replied, "When I was young, I would go to the Samadhi of Haridas Thakur in Puri and chant japa day and night. There, by the grace of Haridas, I could cry incessantly. But here in Vraja, I fail to cry." He paused and added, "I think I have committed an offense." Then he sadly and softly said, "Please, please excuse me, but I must return to offering obeisances." We offered our obeisances and left. I never found out his name, but remember him till this day. Let us all chant the names and offer our obeisances. Lord, bless me that I may chant your name, offer obeisance to your feet, to your divine associates, and to your sacred land of Raja. I am the most wretched and fallen man. But your mercy is great, and Prabhupada's mercy is great and can uplift the most fallen. Please let me be solely dependent upon your mercy and the mercy of your devotees. Hare Krishna. So, this story, I hope that you also get some inspiration that what it means to meet these saintly devotees, and when we look for them in holy places, such miracles can happen. I mean, wow. I was really, really astonished when I read this. And this is what is available for us in our spiritual practices. It's just if we look for this, or if we just consider our spiritual practices secondary, trying to fit them into all the material responsibilities. So just to summarize all what we have spoken about is that we are originally spirit souls, and Krishna is also spiritual, but the problem is that we have accepted this material body, and we have to work with it, and this very, very, very much limits us, because even as a spirit soul, we are in a quantitative aspect, we are much smaller and much more limited than Krishna. But when we accept this material body, then in time, in space, in understanding, in memory, in capacity, we are even more limited. And let's not forget about that we are living in Kali Yuga. So our lifespan, our memory, our communication, our understanding, and whatever is even more limited than what's originally possible in the material world. So we are so fortunate that we get these shortcuts, like chanting the holy name, like deity worship, and whatever, that we get these mediums which we can use to express our love to Krishna, and also which can help us to experience Krishna, because usually we cannot experience him in his spiritual being. So we can use this body. I mean, we should use this this body, this material body, and all the material stuff around us to connect our senses with Krishna in some way, and we have all these possibilities around us, like the process of deity worship. We can engage so many senses in that regard, in the service of Krishna, and even our sadhana is set up in a way that it in the beginning, it's about rules and regulation and purifying the senses, but sadhana is there for each stage of devotees. So whatever level they are on. Just in the past few days, I've read some beautiful narration about Srimati Radharani's sadhana. So if she has sadhana, then who am I not to follow any sadhana? So all of these things help us to experience Krishna and to purify our being, to experience him and be engaged in his service. So let's not be lazy and utilize all these possibilities. Okay, I again went quite over time, but I finished. So I think we can open up for discussion.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. I think you can stop sharing.
Yeah, I try to. It's just somehow it looks a bit different. This okay. I'm closer.
Otherwise, I can stop it for you.
Oh, please! I don't know. Somehow it looks a bit different than it used to.
Yeah, Zoom has been updated. I think when new features are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Such a wonderful class, as usual. And you mentioned so many different interesting points about deity worship and how we are going to give our time to. We think that we give our time to Krishna, but that's that's really very nice point you mentioned, and about the sadhana, and yeah, so totally wonderful class, Mataji. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, any questions or comments you have, you can please go ahead now. Please turn on your cameras if possible. Mataji, when I was thinking like, so when you are saying that the service which we are taking is Krishna is giving us the mercy. Like we think that we are giving time or we are giving to Krishna, but it's not like that. But usually whenever a service comes up, we think that we don't have time. I don't know whether I can fit this in my schedule or not. So like that, we always think, right? But but how to choose? So many services are available here around us in a temple and outside preaching, all that. So, but when we are so picky to choose the service, so how should we think about it? Like, because we can't take, it's not in our capability or capacity to accept every service, right? So,
yeah.
So at that time, how to decide, Mataji?
I think there are two things which are worth thinking about this. One is that yeah, obviously we don't have to say yes to everything, because it means that that we won't be able to properly do all of them. So the service itself will suffer this kind of mentality, and it's just in one sense it's yeah, it's enthusiasm, but I remember my beginning, very first years, when I really thought that if I do more service, then I'm a better devotee. And in this sense, it's the manifestation of passion, the mode of passion. So the mode of goodness is that it's a balanced way of life. So, but also not balanced between material and spiritual, but balanced in a way that we can do the spiritual on a long term. So that's one thing. The other thing is when we say no, what is the mood behind it? And I think that's a key point here. I remember once one of my devotee friends called me to help in translate something to, I don't know, from English to Hungarian, or from Hungarian to English. And at first I thought that, oh, not again. Oh, again, something to do. And I just hang the phone and started to think that whatever we hear from the scriptures is that devotional service is such a rare thing and so valuable. And I'm thinking like, oh, again, it's so, I mean, what? How can I behave like this? Maybe our problem, actually our fortune, is that we have so many possibilities, so many shower of not even a shower, like a big waterfall of, or a nectar fall of of nectar, and we consider it a burden, but it's not at all. So even when we say no, then we have to be grateful for the possibility, and we have to know that it's so amazing that Krishna was thinking of us through the devotees. And yeah, I said two, but there is a third point. So a third thing to consider. Okay, but how to choose? And in that regard, we may fall many times into that we choose whatever is more comfortable, or we like more, or more likely sense gratification, or we will get more appreciation. So obviously these things are not the good principles for choosing, but when we choose based on what is our duty and what is not, that's better. For example, I will tell you, sometimes it happens that okay, we have many services, but we don't do properly our rounds of chanting. And actually our chanting is also service, and that's more important than cooking another feast for whatever occasion. So we have to be able to know what is the priority between our duties. And one very amazing guideline in this is the instruction of the guru. So obviously based on that, and sometimes it's personal instruction, but sometimes it's like initiation vows or something. So this is the priority. But one really helpful thing in this regard, when we get knowledge about all these things, that we know what is duty and what is not duty. And it's not enough, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, it's not enough to read Bhagavad Gita only once and, oh, okay, I understand. I have to go to Kurukshetra and kill other people there. So, I mean, we really have to understand the essence behind those words. And also there are other shastras which are about duty, and if we really study those, and if we are not sure, then ask guidance from senior devotees. Then it's helpful in what we should say yes to and what not. And one very, very small practical point, one of my previous counselors once told me that whenever someone approaches you with something, you don't have to say yes or no immediately. You can say that, okay, please let me think about it. And that's very, very good advice, because then if we have time to think about it, then we will more likely make a good decision. These are my
Yes, thank you so much. Yes,
my
Mataji.
understanding.
Really, yeah, these are all very practical points you mentioned. Definitely, yeah, these are very helpful. Yeah, but the thing is, we have to learn to say, yeah, the last point which you mentioned, think about it. So that should be the first thing, because when you say immediately yes, I tend to say immediately yes, and I struggle later. So yeah, most of the time it's happened to me like that. So I have to change about that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I experienced something interesting on myself. Maybe it's not there for everyone, but sometimes when someone approaches me with some service, when I have a more peaceful time, and then I think that, oh yeah, it will be always like this, and maybe what the devotee asks me will be in a more busy period of time, but I think that I will be capable to do the same thing which I can do now, because now I have the time. So we also should consider these things, that, okay, but then if I will have the capacity when I need to do this.
Yes, Mataji,
So
that's true.
we have to be really conscious about our own limits. So yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you mentioned that when we are doing Aarti, also we are offering ourselves first. This is very such a nice point. I liked it, Mataji. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I was so amazed because I think it was years ago when what happened? Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here, but something. Oh, Krishna.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Anyway.
now it's gone again. Yeah.
So some years ago, I remember I asked the head pujari that how we should meditate when we are offering the different items on during the arati, and somehow we didn't have the time to manage to speak about it. And later on, I one younger devotee asked me about what the offering the water means, and I didn't really know what to say to her, and I promised to her that okay, I will do some research and find something, and I ordered some kind of deity worship book from one of the web shops, but even that was only about the technical parts, but not about how we should meditate. And I was like, I know that there has to be some kind of meaning behind this, but somehow all around me, whatever sources I found was only about the technical parts. And just a few weeks ago, I saw a blog of one ISKCON devotee, senior ISKCON devotee, and there was this lengthy description about the Aratic, and I was like, oh wow, at last. And for me, it's such a nice feedback that whenever we have the desire, in due course of time, sometimes Krishna will reciprocate. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, Mataji. And you take time to do some research. That's very nice of you. So it will help all of us also. Thank you.
Yeah, it's I would say matter of luck, but I would rather say that matter of arrangements of Krishna when you find these things. But yeah.
Great, Mataji. Yeah, thank you. Dear devotees, any more questions? Revati Mataji, you want to ask any question?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hi, Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to the Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to assembled devotees. Yeah, thank you, Mataji, for a very practical, very nice class. So many tips you have shared. Just wanted to again like sadhana and service, like which you were sharing on that. So it's very important, as you said, more sadhana. It's like a passion mode. So we have to do the service uh, as a duty, not like more and more it comes into passion. So when it comes to more like when we have to prioritize like sadhana and service, let's say if your chanting is going down and your reading is going down because of other like programs and services, so how should we balance that, like how we should prioritize that?
Oh, it's a very good question, and I also need to improve myself in this regard. So I'm not sure if I'm qualified to say anything about this. Well, one thing is which we regularly say about this priority is that first comes health, then sadhana, and then service. It's very interesting that in this regard, I always thought that reading is chanting and reading is part of the second one, sadhana. And just lately, I found something from one Srila Prabhupada disciple who said that for these young devotees, Srila Prabhupada personally wrote one note and which hang in the kitchen, which said that first comes health, then comes chanting, then comes service, and then comes reading. I'm still surprised about this one, but that's true that if chanting suffers, then that's a problem. So that's really a problem, because this is our main process in Kali Yuga, and whatever we do serves the only purpose for us to learn how to chant. And if we are doing our practical services independent from this, then it will be actually like karma kanda mentality, that we want to achieve results. And so once I remember I asked Guru Maharaj about the different ways of worship, different yuga dharmas, and he said that in the previous yugas, it was about different mantras, because there is main mantra for each yuga. And he said that in the previous yugas, the mantras served to learn the certain process of the yuga, like meditation or deity worship or sacrifices. But in Kali Yuga, all these other processes support the process of chanting. So the main point, for example, here we mentioned the example of deity worship. It helps us to purify our senses and calm our mind. And when the mind is more peaceful, then it will be and more purified, then it will be easier to chant. So the main point is to learn to chant. So if chanting suffers, then we are losing the main point. That's there. But it's also there when someone neglects health. But if there is no proper health, then we won't be able to focus on either on chanting or on services. So we have to have some basic health. So that's needed. And yeah, reading is also important. It's very interesting that that comes in the list even after service, because one important point is, okay, I'm doing my services, but what is the meditation while doing it? In my mind, sometimes I'm just organizing, okay, what I will do next. But what kind of devotional service is this for Krishna? If I'm not meditating on that, how I would like to please him as much as possible, and instead of thinking of this, instead I'm thinking that, okay, this thing has to be done, and that thing has to be done, and that thing has to be done, and there is a to-do list in our mind going up and down, and that's not really offering, like Patram Pushpam Phanam Toyam, in that way, this love and devotion. Where is this? I'm offering something practically, but it's just like doing the practical stuff. And another thing is that the point is that, I spoke already about the level of duty, doing things out of duty, but let's not forget about this, that the goal is not that I do everything out of duty, but the goal is that we have to develop love, because Krishna desires love. And what is supportive in that regard. So sometimes devotees get into the state that into this burned out state when nothing is, love is not there. Okay, let's get over this task, and like just putting all the notes that, okay, done. So I think it's very different for everyone. Sorry, it was a bit theoretical till this point, but it's always different for everyone. For just one basic example, so for example, those who are in an elderly age, they have to focus more on chanting and reading, hearing, because their body is even more limited than the young devotees, and they have to prepare their meditation to go deeper inside, that when the moment of death comes, meditation will be there properly. For the younger people, more activities used to be and should be there, because that is something which engages young devotees. I used to give program for young Matajis like in their 20s, and I can see that it's so difficult for them to sit in one place for 20 minutes and just listen. It's just so difficult for young people. So but when there is some kind of activity which engages them, it's easier. So through different ages, there are different priorities, I would say. But even, one person has this kind of nature, another person has that kind of nature. So obviously, when someone is more likely a Vaishya type of mentality, they can do their business and work in a way that they give big donations to the temple. Another person is very scholarly, and they won't do so many practical things maybe, or go to the pujari sometimes, but become a preacher and study a lot, so they can engage themselves in this way. So it's very different for each devotee, and that's why the best guideline is the guru, who knows and considers all these aspects. But obviously he's not there in every aspect of our lives, so we have to develop some basic intelligence. We cannot approach him with every small service, but the most important thing, I would say, that whatever you decide to do or not to do, everything should support that your chanting has the quality. Guru Maharaj also used to quote this, that if you have some extra effort, just put it into chanting.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, as you said, like a proper mood is also important when you're doing any service. And yeah, for everyone it's different, and we need to use some intelligence doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be sometimes difficult, because when we become a devotee, many times we hear that we have to follow. And it's so easy to just, lean back and, okay, just tell me what to do and I will do it. But the problem is that it's not like that. We have to develop some intelligence, because it cannot work without that.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So any service also, like, it should lead to love of Krishna, right? Sometimes like some services, like it really disturbs you in the association, like, the kind of association we have when we are engaged in the services. So sometimes I feel like, okay, if it's really that service is not, giving you that bliss and happiness and love, so opt for other services, right? Is that okay?
Um, I'm not really sure if I understand properly, because what you mean, bliss and love, because sometimes we just to explain what I mean, that sometimes by experiencing this bliss coming from service, we actually mean enjoyment. And I mean, in the definition of devotional service, it's there that we shouldn't expect anything in return. I have this this verse from this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There is this this Anyábilásita Csunyan verse. Sorry, I don't know it in English. That's why I'm looking up. So the highest bhakti is defined as conscious service or emotions directed towards Krishna, his expansion, forms, or others related to him, with a pleasing attitude towards Krishna. And here it's the important thing that it should be devoid of desires other than the desire to please the Lord, and unabstracted by impersonal gyan, materialistic rituals of karma, or other unfavorable acts. But the key point here is that we desire to please Krishna, and we don't desire to get anything in return. And sometimes it happens, at least I experience on myself, that we think that we should experience some kind of happiness or whatever. But there can be obstacles which make it more difficult. So when there are big conflict with other devotees, and maybe we would go into the direction of Vaishnava Parad or something like that. So there can be things which make it more difficult. I would say that there are a few things. So one thing is that if I can meditate on during the service that I'm doing it for the pleasure of Krishna, and how can I make this offering so that it will be even better for him? That's one thing, how it can be nice. And another type is when sometimes it's really difficult. For example, there are many book distributor devotees in Hungary, and I hear them speaking about their service, and I can experience that for many of them it's really difficult. And in this case, what they used to do, meditate on how they will please the Guru by doing this service. So maybe the service itself as an activity is not giving the bliss, but what will give the bliss is that meditating on the pleasure of whom I'm doing it for. So yeah, I don't know if it's helpful, because sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I got it. Yeah. So mainly, yeah, it's but my question was like, sometimes we have conflict with the devotees, so we are doing a service, and that is actually, your mood it's getting distracted because the purpose is to please Guru and Krishna. So in that case, I was asking.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned that sometimes there can be such conflicts when it's better to leave that situations. But sometimes, first we should try to resolve the situation, because so many times it can be resolved. And if we don't even do the endeavor, then it's not really beneficial. And so it's nice if it can be solved. And sometimes even if it's not it cannot be solved, it can be tolerated. But sometimes it's not, when we are not even able to tolerate, then comes this third solution. So I think this is the order. First, let's see if we can solve it. If it's not possible to solve it, if I can tolerate it on a long term, or until it's needed, because sometimes we think that, okay, I can tolerate it and I can do it on a short term, but on a long term, I'm not able to do it. And if I cannot tolerate it, then the third is that somehow it's better than if we start to do Vaishnava Parad, criticizing and whatever, or just react in an angry way. So that's not good for anyone.
Yes, Mataji, got it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So it's almost 1.5 hours. Balakrishna Prabhu, you want to? Sorry, you joined late. We are almost ending the call.
No worries. I'll catch it on YouTube. I just wanted to say hi.
Okay.
I have to be leaving now. Hare Krishna.
So yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, for such a wonderful class and nice question answer discussion. Hope we'll have your association more, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
dear
you for-
devotees. We'll all see you tomorrow. We'll end the call here. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki. And today is Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, and hope you will have a blissful day remembering Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.